Hey everybody, welcome to Tightline. We're so glad that you're with us this week. I'm really excited to be here. I'm with my youngest daughter, Annalie, one of my favorite fishing partners, and we're going to be doing a unique technique today called wacky rigging. I know it sounds funny, but it's a way to fish a soft plastic stick bait or a trick worm that's really effective in the spring. We also may throw a crawfish at a few bedding fish today. Thanks so much for being with us. Stay tuned. Look at that.
I beat you.
This is the kind we're needing to catch. You can get that for me?
Sure.
So this is a bass. It's a very small one on what we're calling a wacky rig. It's just a worm kind of hooked through the middle. So we're going to teach you guys how to fish this today. Wacky lacky. So we're throwing this, I'm throwing what's called a trick worm. And Annalie's throwing a trick stick made by Big Bite Baits. And we're catching a lot of fish, wacky rig. We're going to explain it to you in a little bit. In this lake, it's a community lake. They shocked it several months ago and they had a lot of little fish. So these 10, 12, up to 14 inchers we're keeping to help them manage the lake. It's late spring. Most of the fish have already spawned. And fishing this wacky rig is a great way to catch them.
Can I throw them? Oh, yeah. Are we going to keep it?
Yeah, we're going to keep
it.
Okay. You can drop it in there for me.
Okay.
I'll go catch another one.
Okay.
So what we've got is just a trick stick. And we've put a little black, it's like a rubber band. It's just a band made for fishing wacky rigs. And it comes with a little, or you can buy a little thing to stick it in and put them on. We'll show you that in a minute. But basically it's just a stick bait with a little black rubber band around it. We put the hook through the black rubber band and you fish it just like this. And the action of the bait most of the time is in the fall of the bait. So a lot of times you pick up and it's just heavy and that soft bait moves real naturally in the water. It's a great way to catch them in clear water lakes. This is a really clear lake we're on today. Try again, baby girl.
Okay, baby.
Got him. Does that put me up?
No.
So what we're doing, I was throwing a trick worm.
Can I put a trick worm on?
Which is just a little straight worm. And Annalie was getting more bites than me, so I went to the trick stick and got bit. This fish was up around a dock. The cool part about these things is they do skip really good under boat docks. What do you think about him?
What's the difference in a trick stick and this?
That's what that is. That's a trick stick.
Ah.
The trick worm is the long, skinny, short, longer one. What you got?
Come hither.
Here you go.
Can I get it off?
Oh, I think I was getting a fish too. I got one. Nope, no I don't.
Can you hold this?
I can hold it.
Thank you. Stop moving, please.
You're kind of seeing this too. Annalie's 12, and of course she's been fishing a long time, but the beauty of fishing this thing too is it's not a real difficult way because the hook's exposed. Now it's probably not the best way to fish a lot around a bunch of limbs and stuff, but when you got open water, it's a great way to fish. You need my help?
Yes.
I got him.
You got him?
Yep. Throwing the wacky rig. This is a big one, Annalie.
Okay.
You might have to help me with this one. I tell you what, little or big, it's a lot of fun, isn't it, baby girl?
Yes.
So what's your favorite kind of fish? You like catching brim or bass better?
Brimmage.
Brim? Brimmage. We are doing population control today on this lake. So what happens is that little band around there is an awesome little invention. it keeps your bait from getting torn every time, and you just slide it right back down on the hook. We're throwing just a 2/0 hook today, and it hangs around there.
That is to a swan.
That's a swan?
Yes.
So we're gonna have to go see the swan in a minute. He wants to jump.
He was like,
I know. How was he? So I don't know if you guys can see in the back, kind of what we're keying on right now is docks and the shade. It's been real bright, no clouds today. Good skip. So Annalie just skipped her one under that dock. We'll see if we're catching a lot of these 10-inch to 13, 14 inchers. If we want to catch some bigger ones, we may have to fish a little different, but right now, getting the bites is a lot of fun. So we moved to a little different area of the lake. It was getting a little too shallow. Moved down toward the deeper end. It's starting to get a lot warmer toward the summer. And first cast on a little break. And a lot of times you want to look for that when you're fishing. If they've been really shallow and it starts to get really hot.
Look at that turtle.
Where's a turtle?
Over here.
Awesome.
It's a big turtle.
It's a big turtle. Anyway, you look for that first break, and that's where we're catching most of the fish we're catching. Annalie and I had been catching them good on wacky worms for a while, but we came across a place where we knew there was some shell cracker, so we picked up some live bait and pitched it in there too. The double.
I still got him.
You got him?
Yep.
Oh, it's a bass. Let me throw it there and see.
You want me to wait?
So we used the opportunity to throw up and try to catch a shell cracker. But Annalie can't catch anything but bass. That's a big one too. You gonna name that one?
George.
George. You know, almost every one of your name is George. So
It's a different lake.
Okay.
Hold this.
You got him?
Yes. Please don't move.
So.
Stop!
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So one thing you learn though is when you come with a young person, you know, have fun doing what you're doing, but if you have a chance to catch something else with live bait or whatever, we take the opportunity. And
Stop moving.
Mr. Alex had been here and caught some shell crackers up in this corner. So we gave it a shot. She caught this gigantic bass. So Annalie's wearing me out on the live bait. What you?
He came off.
Did he really?
No, he didn't.
That's a brim.
Bramage.
Bramage. It's Andy. So this, what kind do you think that is?
Oh, shell cracker. Bluegill.
I think it's a bluegill, yep. It's hard to tell when they're not real big, but she's learned from a young age how to take fish off too, at least how to hold them. He said as she gets poked. Show them how you slide your hand down the back there.
Okay.
If he'll quit wiggling.
Stop.
Right? And she pushes his fins down. Now he can't fin her. And she's gonna try to get the hook out. Sometimes Daddy has to help her with the hook, but she's pretty good at it. She's determined, that's for sure. And all we're fishing with is, we've been wacky rigging stick baits for bass, and we had an opportunity to catch some brim.
Ready?
We're just fishing with a bait called a big red.
Ready? Ready?
Yep.
Ready?
You catch them brim, baby. I'm gonna catch me a bass over here, okay?
Okay.
Oh, this is so much fun. It's a beautiful late afternoon.
Bite!
With one of my favorite people in the world.
Bite!
Mr. Alex. I'm just kidding. Annalie. And we're just catching bass and brim. You getting one over there?
No. My thingy won't reel. There we go.
It's called a reel. But that's about the size we're catching. And if you live in an area where there's a pond that's got a lot of fish this size, you know, 20, 30 pounds a year per acre is what you're supposed to keep out. So this basic wacky rig we're using is a soft plastic stick bait, green pumpkin. Basically, we're using a Big Bite Baits trick stick. And these are just little black O-rings, and you can buy this little tool, works really neat. You stick the stick bait down in there, and then you just roll the the little O-ring back on the tube. It's like almost like an ink pen until it gets on your bait and makes it a little easier. And then I just pull the little black O-ring right up next to the egg sac on the worm. And I'm using a 2/0, just a regular Gamakatsu extra wide gap hook. And I'm gonna just pull it under that O-ring. And the O-ring, unless you break off, that O-ring really keeps it from tearing that bait. And you don't want to give it a lot of action, just a couple of jerks, let it sink, a couple of jerks, let it sink. And because the action of this bait is more in the fall than in the pull. So when it's falling, it's moving real subtly. And it's a great way to catch them in clear water, great way to catch them post-spawn. There he is.
Again.
Got it. It's a pretty good one too. So we kind of fished around, tried to fish some deeper water, and they weren't on the dam where we were thinking they might be, and so we moved back and tried to catch them.
You want me to grab the
Yeah, you
ruler?
want to get that one for me?
Well, I'll grab it, but like.
Yeah. Here it comes. You ready?
Stop. Don't do it.
Got him?
Yep.
Good job. I like this. You need to come with me more often and take my fish off for me.
Ew.
Can you turn around?
I can't turn around.
She got all wompy jawed. He went behind the boat, so it's another big one. Good job, girl.
Thanks.
Can you step your 1 foot back this way?
No.
I'll help you.
Hang on.
Ready?
Like,
1, 2. 1, 2.
Stop.
Okay. Throwing this little Wacky rig. I threw that one up shallow. It kind of just got heavy. That'll happen a lot of times on this Wacky rig. You won't feel the bump of a traditional Texas rig. It'll just get heavy. And if you're not fishing around cover, wood or anything, if it gets heavy, you just set the hook because it's probably a fish. And where we are, we're trying to help them manage this lake too, so we're going to keep some of these small ones out for them. Bite it. There you go. What you got? Is it a bass? Remember, keep that rod like this. Don't pull it way back behind your head. Swing him to me. Good job.
Is that bigger than 4?
Is that bigger? So what we're doing is we're helping them manage the lake, and if they're over 14 or over, we're throwing them back. If they're under that, we're keeping them. She was asking me, are we keeping this one? So we're gonna see. And that thing did just exactly what it's supposed to do, baby girl. See how it went up the line? That's what it's supposed to do. So I'm gonna let her measure this one. We're gonna see if we're gonna keep him. So throwing this little Wacky rig, and Annalee's hooked up with another bass about the same size. What you think about that? Turn and show everybody.
What the world?
And he's about the same size.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got a little sore on him.
It's like that brim that had like that.
Yeah, they have a little, sometimes when they're laying eggs, they're spawning, they'll have little sores like that on them. That's sorry. We're gonna put him in the live well. Keep that one because he's under 14. What you got there, girlie? Oh, a nice one.
Now I'm winning.
Nah.
Look,
it's all about the winning, right?
eyeballs, or never mind.
Turn around this way.
Brown.
Let
Okay.
me see it.
Hang on.
This way.
Okay.
That's where we are. Okay. So we actually saw that fish come up and blow up, and Annalee made a really good cast, put it right on top of it, and caught this fish, and it was not coming off, baby girl.
It's in the top of the mouth.
Now, is this your favorite way of fishing? You like bass fishing or brim fishing?
I like both.
I like both. What's your favorite bass lure? One of these maybe, or?
The speed crawl.
Oh yeah, she likes a little crawfish imitation. But this may become your favorite if we keep catching them, huh?
Go over.
Yep, come. No, you're coming right there. What you got? Ooh.
Oh, it's got another sore. That's gross.
Sorry. Let me get down here and help you. Leave him in the water. Good job.
Thanks.
And that's on the trick stick. We went to throwing a little smaller worm
Is
too.
that bigger?
I think he's over 14. Yeah, we're probably gonna throw him back.
Okay.
And sometimes when you see that, she's kind of getting grossed out by sores and stuff, but a lot of times
Hold it.
When you see that, that means they've just come off the bed. Bedding is kind of a rough process on them when they're fanning the beds and stuff, but the fish is healthy other than that.
Hold it.
If you're seeing, let him.
Bye-bye.
Good job, girl. That was crazy, that fish. Walk up in front of me, baby girl. Come up here. That
Okay,
fish,
wait.
I never ever felt that fish. He just kind of got on there. I think it's a little better fit. Well, he's full of moss. Mm-hmm. Hello, you got a beard, Annalie. Got a bearded fish. That's a pretty decent one.
Gross.
That's a nice fish right there. We're gonna probably let that one go. And we stopped getting bit, so we went to a little smaller bait like a trick worm and threw it a little bit. We'll see if we can catch a few more. Good fish. Oh, he got me around the dock. I'm gonna use up there and try to get him off. I don't know if y'all can see that down in the water, but the little baby bass, you see him by the dock, baby? See all that looks like?
Oh,
grass?
yeah.
That's a bunch of little baby bass. We call them fry. And,
That one's got grass on it again, too.
And he was up there around the fry, and that's a pretty fish.
Got one, too.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
We got a double. When I say a break.
Oh, this is fast.
Okay.
Hello.
I think mine's bigger.
Yeah, probably.
What do you think? I think you got me on that one.
Okay.
But what we're fishing is just little drop-offs. We call them breaks, where these fish have been really shallow for a while, and now they're starting to move out, getting ready to be on the summer pattern. Man, I had a great time fishing today with my little girl Annalie. It's just always awesome when you can be in the outdoors with your kids, and it was especially unique today because we got to fish with a unique rig. This is a big bite trick stick, but we rigged it a special way called Wacky, and I taught you guys how to do that. And when I say wacky, it really is, because normally you're supposed to Texas rig these things and keep them out of the grass and out of the wood, but this way you just stick that hook right through the middle, and it's a really weird way to catch fish, but it works, it's successful. And when you think about it, over the years, fishermen have used wacky things to catch fish. In fact, if you look at one of the most popular baits that there is, it's called a spinner bait. Man, that doesn't like anything that swims in the water, yet it really catches fish. And then there's a crankbait color that's one of the most popular colors called fire tiger. I've never seen anything swimming around in the lake like that, but it's a great color to catch fish on certain times of the year. So wacky could describe some things that we use, and sometimes they really, really work. But when you think about our lives in Christ, they're supposed to be a little bit wacky also. You may be saying, what in the world are you talking about? Well, our lives are supposed to look real different from the world, and Christ kind of spells that out for us in Matthew chapter 5. It's a famous section of scripture called the Beatitudes, and when people look at our lives, they're supposed to see a life that looks different than the rest of the world. This is what he says: "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you or persecute you falsely and say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." And so what he's saying to us is our life is supposed to look different than the world. You know, the world doesn't really like peacemakers. The world doesn't really like the things that he's talking about here. But that's what we're supposed to look like. We're supposed to be people that think of others before ourselves. We're supposed to be merciful and things like that. You know, so that's my encouragement to you guys tonight, is that your life should look wacky to the rest of the world. In fact, in 1 Corinthians, Paul says it this way, that God chose the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. That's what he does. And maybe your life, you're thinking about it today, man, my life looks just like everybody else in the world, and I don't have any peace or hope or joy. Maybe it's time that you said yes to Jesus Christ, and your life starts looking a little bit different than the rest of the world. The simple way you do that is just realize that you're a sinner, ask Christ to forgive you of your sins, and ask Him to come and live in your heart and be Lord of your life. Hey, thanks so much for listening today.
You know, when I look at the tournaments I've won, probably 4 or 5 of the boats that I've won have been on a tube. But I'd completely gotten away from flipping a tube because nobody made one soft enough.
Big Bite has come with this new tour series of baits. The thing that's probably the most unique is when you look at that bait, the salt just rolls out of it. And to me, that is the reason a fish bites a tube and hangs on to it. This isn't one of those let's go out and catch some smallmouth tube. This is a let's get it done tube.
Hey guys, what we do at Go Fish Ministries is share the gospel and encourage believers in their walk with Christ. We do this through a variety of events such as wild game dinners, kids camps, men's events, music events, or even if you or someone you know just needs a day on the water. Go Fish Ministries wants to point you toward Jesus and help you know Him better. Contact us through our website. We'd love to serve you any way we can. God bless you and go fish.
This little baby.
So we took the opportunity, saw these fish up here, and started brim fishing a little bit. There you go. That's an easy release. It's a big old shit. Got it? Got a girl. Big one. Still fun to watch that bobber go under.
Yeah.
He came out of that tree, baby girl. Can you throw out in front of that tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, so anytime you come around a piece of structure like this, old Christmas trees in the water, they will hold fish most of the time. It's a really great place to try to catch one. And it's another fish about the same size, about 10, 11, 12 inches. Still fishing the Wacky rig. And,
grab it.
Annalise taking a break eating the Oreo. And we're just fishing little break lines where it drops from hardly any depth to just like 3 or 4 feet, and that's where these fish seem to be hanging out.
Stay.
And we're taking out these smaller fish, so you want to grab them by the mouth?
Yeah, I just gotta switch hands.
So kind of the key right now is you either have to be on a break or you have to be up in the shade. That fish was in about 6 inches of water way up in the shade. Again, catching them on the little wacky rig, easy for me to say, on a little small trick worm. He's a keeper, isn't he?
Dad, I tried to throw it and the worm came off, but it stayed in the same spot.
That happens frequently. We're gonna put that one in the well. So what happened was we came down this bank and there's a lot of overhanging stuff. Annalise decided to get a snack, and I turned mine around and Texas rigged it because it's hard to wacky rig up under this overhanging stuff. It'll get hung, and so I Texas rigged that little trick worm. And I got places I couldn't have gotten with the wacky rig, and that's when he jumped on it. So we tried several different things, but it looks like the wacky rig's gonna be the deal today. And I tell you, I really think it's because of how clear the water is. How's that feel? we call that a country shower. But anyway, that wacky rig's been working good. What she got?
The turtle.
It's a little tiny turtle. We rescued him. We named him George. We're gonna put him out on the bank.
George. I don't know his name.
Oh, okay. You name him, whatever you want to name him. So, baby girl, what's your favorite part about being out here?
I like that it's fun and you're not just like sitting there and it's like boring. Cause like I just caught a turtle and that's fun.
So you like that sometimes it's not just fishing, you get to do other things like catch turtles or fall in the water. I'm just kidding. Oh, there's a fish. I got him. Oh, I got him. You want to reel this one in? Come over my head. So we're catching a lot of fish on this little wacky rig, and she hadn't had one in a while, so we're gonna let her reel this one in. Oh, you lassoed him.
Oh, you did.
Hey, have you thought any about what you might want to be when you grow up?
Well, I like to bake, and I like to do that. But I went to the eye doctor the other day, and I thought that was cool too.
Being an eye doctor?
Yeah.
What was cool about that?
Because it's not scary. It's like the only doctor that's not scary.
What would you say in the last 2 or 3 months or so has God been teaching you anything?
To not be scared of stuff and like to trust Him.
Okay. Yeah, it's been really neat for a lot of times we do family devotions together. It's been really neat to watch when sometimes she gets scared of thunderstorms or other things that 12-year-olds get scared of, and almost every time our devotion has been about not fearing or trusting, hadn't it? Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool how God will speak to you so specifically that way. There's something somebody wrote a long time ago, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That's called the Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. That's Him guiding you and teaching you and all that stuff.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Well, I'm really, really glad I get to be out here with you today.
Me too. I like it.
Good job.
Thanks.
So she's out on this little point, swinging toward me, throwing the wacky rig.
Wacky rig.
I think that may put you up for the tournament too, doesn't it? Here, you hold that one up and show everybody what a pretty bass looks like. Hey, baby, you said earlier you like the bass fish. Do you remember the biggest bass you ever caught?
I think it was like 4 pounds-ish.
I think it was a little bigger than that. I think it was about 6 pounds.
Okay, that.
Caught it off the, there's fish. Oh, missed him. Caught it off the dock at our house, didn't
Oh
you?
yeah, that was like that time that Leah caught that tiny little one.
Yeah. Your brother had a little bitty one, right? And you had a big one. She likes to throw, and that, you know, a lot of times bass fishermen think, well, that's too hard of a skill for a kid to, but she learned how to throw a Texas rig when she was about 6 or 7 years old. She's gotten really good at it. You gonna reel this one in?
Sure.
So we're still fishing the wacky rig. You want to put it in there?
Yeah.
And what we've done though is we've moved down to a place that's deeper water. It's got some shade on it where we've seen some brim beds and stuff. And first cast or two, we got bit. I saw that whole thing. Wasn't that cool? I love that she loves to do that. That's awesome. We actually, the water's so clear, we're seeing a lot of these fish come up and roll over on these things and eat it. Yeah, grab him by the mouth. There you go, pinch him hard. So this one's a nice one. He was just kind of out, same kind of place. It was a little break. You got it?
Yep.
Here, I'm just gonna pull him up to you. We're gonna have to put him on the measuring board and see if he'll make it or not.
Hi, child.
Usually it's the opposite way around. We're worried about being too short, now we're worried about him being too long. You got it?
It was like barely hit
Barely in there, wasn't it? Man, I had a great time today with my little girl, Anna Lee. I sure appreciate you guys watching. And just remember, if you have a chance to go out with the kids, take it anytime you can. In fact, make time to do that. It's very important in their lives and in your life. And also, wacky rigging can be a great, great way to catch bass. If you're in a pond that doesn't have a lot of cover in it, simple way to catch them, easy way to catch them, and very effective. Hey, thanks so much for joining us this week, and join us next time.
Hey turtle, hey turtle, hey turtle.